This has been one of the weirdest weeks that I have seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Barox, what in the world is happening? Like, I'm happy to see that the old vanilla fusions are doing something out here, but what is possessing more of these vanilla friends start going up in price? Scarcity. It's literally the main reason that I can give you out of this right now. Right now, there are so many niche, rare cards in the game that you might not realize. Also, it's a Fiend monster, level 5. So, you know, you have some in-house synergy. Some of the decks that Fiend lock you. Ready Fusion, Instant Fusion. Do I need to say more about Barox himself? But these niche vanilla cards that exist out here in the game, I'm intrigued. And it's not like this has been a problem for a little while, because most of us kind of forgot about these cards, or, you know, the people that were keeping an eye on them on the market were like, well, you know, hey, you know, like, there's no real point to pick this up, or I've already picked this up. But we reached the point now that people were like, oh, time to go buy out Barox, I suppose. So I think this is going to continue to be a problem with these older things. I do think that Konami is going to pay attention to this, though, and actually do something about this. I think we will probably see a reprint for Barox in the near future. So if you're like, oh, wow, you know, I'm gonna run out here and pick up my copies of Barox, don't. All right, patience. All right, Konami's proven to us that they'll reprint. Look what they did with Mystical Sand. All right, so patience for this. All right, it's all smooth sailing. Just be patient. Next up is the Black Goat Laughs. So during the last OCG report, guess what? Black Goat Laughs started to see some play. So the curve goes wee and just stops here. Actually, like, you just a little bit uptick action here. Now, basically, the thing that makes this card actually really good is its ability to specifically jam your opponent out of basically accessing a certain functionality, aka basically saying, hey, your opponent can't special summon a targeted monster of the original name, except from the graveyard, but I mean, hey, good luck, you know. It means I can name any extra deck threat. Promethean Princess? Promethean Princess. Alright, or, you know, any other combo piece. What if I declare Snake Eyes Ash on my opponent? Or, you know, Flamberge Dragon. I mean, yeah, they can revive it from the graveyard. Sure. I mean, that's what the card says. It says your opponent can buff summon the monster except from the graveyard. Well, you know, if we hit Snake Eyes Ash, you get a full turn to kind of combo up against fire, unless your opponent finds a way to, you know, get the Ash into the graveyard and then get it out of the graveyard. Or, you know, Flamberge Dragon. The card is very, very strong for what it needs to be. And, you know, people are looking at this. Who would have guessed? Trap cards, by the way. You know, they see sort of uptick out here, and people start to go, oh, I need this. I do have a feeling that we will see Black Goat Laughs get a reprint later on, probably in a future set, and you're going to watch the card go like Waypoint did, straight down into the toilet and get flushed in value. I mean, you're looking at $9 right now for these things, maybe upwards to 10, but it's not going to hold. We've learned our lesson out here about these sorts of value to be had. So, yeah, an interesting tech choice. I do like it, though. Next up is this Dynam Morphia hype. As you saw on Market Watch, intact, by the way. So, my only major thought about everything happening right now, with more people kind of looking to Dynam Morphia, is more and more people want to explore anti-meta right now. And it's not like anti-meta is necessarily a terrible option. It's just, you know, Dynam Morphia is kind of like the worst deck to play in a format where time rules are freaking awful. All right, like, you play this game and you're like, all right, cool, you know, and then you're like, okay, cool, I'm a Dynam Morphia player. Yeah, 1 life point. Yeah. All right, you're like, all right, what are you going to do? You can't do anything to me because I got all my trap cards. Your opponent goes 10 seconds on the clock. You're at 1 life point. I'm still at 8,000. Good game, Duelist. You don't have any way to recover out of that. All right, just throwing that out there. All right, like Dynam Morphia is just the Edge Master 5000 deck. You really walk that fine line of life and death with playing it. And your Solemn Judgments, remember, 1 divided by 1 in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is 1. Because you go down to half, and the rules of Yu-Gi-Oh! State round that bad boy on up. So your Solemn Judgments are always live. Fun Yu-Gi-Oh! Facts with MCOL40. So, just throwing that out there, alright? Like, the fundamentals of the way that Dynam Morphia looks, it's also really cheap, actually. Like, if you're getting base-ready Dynam Morphia cards, it's probably one of the cheapest decks that you can kind of look at playing, alright? Like, budget options, I think, are always a good thing to lure people in and go, hey, you know, like, let's try this. You know, Dynam Morphia, the flavor of the week, I suppose. Speaking of other flavor of the week, this stun hype. So it has continued this week. We've seen Fossil Dyna blow up through a ceiling out here. We've seen people playing Jowgen and Voiceless Voice with the branded package. These anti-meta stun cards have been wonderful to see. Like, people genuinely are paying attention to these cards, and they're including them in, you know, whatever odd strategy that they want to play. I mean, you can Gallant Granite into Fossil Dyna. It's not a TCG problem because Valence in the OCG does that, but just search it, normal summon it, you know, do your full combo down that line. The point is, stun cards, stun in general right now, Johnny Asian Persuasion brought to the table and showcased out of the last YCS that you can actually try this stuff out and you can be fine with it. Alright, we've also got the Gondola spell card that basically protects your stuff. It's freaking hilarious. It's one of the best things that I have actually seen out here. And I do think that that is actually pretty good to actually see. I do think out here in the long haul, though, that we're going to continue to see stun hype because floodgates. Denial options on your opponent from getting the chance to play the game always is going to be good. Floodgates, floodgates, floodgates. That's right. Flip up rivalry, Gozen, skill drain, you know, all of these other options, just so your opponent cannot. Very, very, very good. I'm happy. I genuinely am happy to see that players are reapproaching stun out here as an option for the meta to kind of counteract a lot of the stuff that's going on, and genuinely it's very, very good. Melodious hype. This is what, like 4 weeks in at this point in time, and I feel like every single one of these videos I have to re-emphasize Ostinato does not lock you. We have seen countless builds out here in the OCG splashing the Melodious package in the deck because it's just kind of crazy, actually. It gives you so many options to kind of explore all of these different venues and avenues and splash ability, and you know, you get to make a quick effect DD Crow to banish cards from your opponent's graveyard. So Promethean Princess gets banished, problem solved. You know, these spot removal options that a splash package gives you, I mean, the only problem here is you just gotta draw it. You know, Ostinato not being searchable, a little bit rough, but if you are able to see this card, or, you know, find a way to implement this stuff into your deck, you know, it seems very good. Splashable options out here are some of the things that people want to look at. People want to know, hey, you know, Melodious is splashable. What can we do with this package? You know, what kind of advantage can we generate with this? And I think that's honestly one of the better things to look at right now. So you got a lot of hype right now, a lot of interesting things. And honestly, I wanted to do a recap video because I'm genuinely impressed. This has been one of the craziest weeks in a while that I've seen in the game, just for the little movements. So what do you guys think? Please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.